Hello, good morning everyone. Am I audible? Am I? Okay. Today we are going to start a first class of your fifth semester, and the subject is compiler design. Now I am going to start the compiler design subject. Did you see the PPT slides on your screen? Did you see the PPT slides? Actually, I am trying to show my PPT slides, but there is some restriction. All of you, all of you see the PPT slides. The PPT. Okay. So let's start. Now, uh, the subject is compiler design, and this is the code of compiler design, 5IT402. Right. This basically the the prerequisite of courses for compiler design are data structure and algorithm, and theory of computation. In your curriculum, you already studied the data structure and algorithm in third semester, and in your fourth semester, you already studied the theory of computation. So if you master in these two subjects, then compiler design will be easy for you. Um, if you not master this, then there will be some difficulty in understanding the subject. But more or less, this subject is much more easier than theory of computation. All of you are getting it? Okay. Now this is basically the syllabus of compiler design. Uh, it is divided in 5 units. You have seen that the first unit is of introduction. In the introduction, we see that there the scope and the objective of this subject, then the definition of compiler, translator, and interpreter, and after that the actual subject start with the phases of compiler. And in this subject, we are trying to discuss deeply the phases of compiler in the subsequent units. So phases of compiler will discuss in unit 1, and these phases will be subsequently uh, elaborated in unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, and unit 5. Um, so in the unit 1 also you can see that the review of finite automata, which you already studied in theory of computation. Then there is a Let's tool, which is used for automatically generating the Let's analyzer code, uh, which is used in finite automata machines. Now in the unit 2, you have seen that the the context-free grammar, which we already studied in theory of computation, the ambiguity and the unambiguity of grammar, the LL grammars, right? But here parsing is also there. So there are two types of parsers basically used. One is top down parser and the other is bottom up parsers. And top down parser and bottom up parser are also categorized in different forms. So we will study it in more detail in unit 2, right? In the unit 2 we also need to have a parser generator tool, which is known as YAC, Y-A-C-C. You will see it in the last line of unit 2, YACC, YAC tool, which is the parser generator. By using this we will automatically generate the parser. All of you are getting it? If there is some problem, then you can chat, you can write the problem, or you can raise that no sir or something like that. So I will repeat it once again, right? So moving further in the unit 3, we will see the syntax directed definition. In the syntax directed definition, the parser is getting the language context. So we are getting the language compatibility is there. So it can be done by the three address code. The short form of this is TAC, which is known as the three address code. There are some representation of three address code. You can see it in the second last line of the unit 3, that is representing three address code using triples and quadruples. So there are some presenting methods of three address code, like triples and quadruples. And in the last we also studied the Boolean expressions and control structures. So today is just the introductory class, so I am just briefing out the compiler design subject, what is there in the syllabus, and just give you the basic overview of compiler and interpreters. So in the next class we will study the phases of compiler, where the actual subject start, but the compiler definition, interpreter, and why we need to study this subject is also very important. Then in the fourth unit, we will going to see the storage allocation strategies and the use of symbol tables and the parameter passing methods, which you already studied in the C programming, like pass by value and pass by name. These are the parameter passing methods, and the symbol table organization and the use of symbol tables and the data structures used in symbol tables. So basically the unit 4 is basically used for storage allocation, which will be done by the compiler. And the final unit is basically based on the two phases of the compiler, the optimization phase and the code generation phase. And you can see that the top three lines are based on the code optimization phase, like advantages of directed acyclic graph and the sources of optimization, loop optimization. and in the fifth unit, and in the later two lines, in the last two lines of the unit 5, we are going to study the code generation, which is the last phase of the compiler. So by doing, I mean, the unit 5, all these units are based on the phases of the compiler, which we are going to study in the next class, the phase of the compiler, which is the most important topic of the compiler design, and all the units are based on these phases of the compiler, right? All of you are getting it? Okay. So moving forward, so there are some course outcomes which the student will able to after completing the course. After completing the course, the you all will able to clearly explain the concept and different phases of compiler, and the compile time and error handling is what is the compile time and error handling. We will go through the in the compiler design subject. You will also study thoroughly the representation of language tokens using regular expressions, which you already studied in theory of computation, and how the regular expression are useful in designing the lexical analyzer for a language, right? um, then you can also study in the second unit the top down parsing and the bottom up parsing, and you can also have deep understanding in which parser is going to be best in the given circumstances, or when the given input is there, which type of compiler, top down or bottom up parser, which will be the best in that situation. In the third unit, you can study the syntax directed translation scheme for a given context free grammar. The context free grammar, which you already studied in theory of computation. So basically, for understanding the compiler design subject, you have to thoroughly study the theory of computation subject. In this, basically the top 3 units of the theory of computation, like the finite automata, which finite automata is used in this. I am highlighting it. The the context free grammar are used in this, in terms of parser design and in the syntax directed translation schemes, right? Then there is a unique feature of compiler is the intermediate code generation. So you can generate the intermediate code for statements in high level languages. So from intermediate code, you can join the front end of the compiler with the back end of the compiler by with the use of intermediate code. And lastly, you in the fifth unit, there are two techniques. First is optimization technique, and the other is code generation technique. So lastly, apply optimization technique to intermediate code and generate machine code for high level language program. So these are the course outcomes which you will able to find out after completion of the course, right? Are you getting it? All of you are getting it? Okay. So moving forward, so these are some reference books. These are some reference books of this compiler design subject. Basically, these books are of foreign writers, and if you, I mean, you can also issue this book from library. The basic book which generally uh, follow and are in the library are Aho, Ullman, and City. The book number 2 is basically the book number 2 is basically in the all the libraries of top universities and colleges. So Aho, Ullman, and City, you can consult this book. Rest of the books are also good. Basically, I studied from first and second book, and the third and fourth book are also good of Oxford University Press, and the last book is of Bennett of TMH. So the you can also, I mean, also study from these books also, right? Just wait for 2 minutes. You can see these books and note down if you want this. क्यों? आपने काम तो उसी लिखा है, और प्रिंसिपल से शिकायत जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, तो आशुतोष से आपको देखना है। हाँ, वही देखते हैं आप उनसे पूछिए। Right, now moving forward, first, now there comes a question, the basic question, what is a compiler? So you can see from the diagram, a compiler is basically a program which is used to transform high level language into low level language, and in the process of transferring or transforming the high level language into low level language, you can find the compilation errors. You recognize that when you compile the C or C double plus program, then you will then you get the errors, you get the compilation errors of by running the program. So basically the compiler task is basically the same. It basically transforms the high level language into low level language, and in that process the compilation errors are encountered. Now, the compiling process includes basic translation mechanism and error detection. The compiler also makes the end code efficient, which is optimized for execution time and memory space. So this is the use of compiler, that it can make the code optimized in terms of execution time and memory space, which is the core concept of, I mean, computer science, to get best time, that minimum time and minimum space, right? Now the next, features of compiler. So these are some of the features of compiler by which we 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 are using it. First is correctness. The compiled code are basically more correct, because if it is not correct, then it shows the compilation error, and we need to correct it before moving forward. Then the speed of compilation. So the compiled code are basically much more faster than the interpreter code. So that's why we are using much more interested in using compilers than interpreters. Then the third is preserve the correct meaning of the code. This can be incorporated by using the syntax directed translation scheme, which we will going to see in the third unit of the compiler design. Then the speed of the target code. By using the compiler, that the targeted code are generated very fastly. Then the other feature is recognize legal and illegal program constructs. So if you remember that when you compile the C and C double plus program, if you type the syntax wrongly or incorrectly, then you get that error, and you need to correct it before moving forward, right? So the compiler basically job is to recognize legal and illegal program constructs as well. Then the other task or the other features of compiler are, it is good error reporting or handling tool. And the last is good debugging help. It also helps you to find out in which line of your program code the error exists. So you need to only correct that line of code of your program, right? All of you are getting it? Okay. Now moving forward, now the next topic is types of compiler. So there are some different types of compiler. Now first is single pass compiler. In single pass compiler, source code directly transforms into machine code. For example, in the Pascal language, we are using the single pass compiler by which the source code directly transform into the machine code, and this is the diagram of single pass compiler. Now the next compiler is two pass compiler. The two pass compiler is divided into two sections. Now first is in the first section there is front end, and in the next pass, in the first pass there is front end, and in the next pass there is back end. So you can see from the diagram, uh, the source code, the front the source code is transmitted to the front end, and the output of the front end is the intermediate representation. IR is the intermediate representation, right? And intermediate representation is the input for the back end. So the intermediate representation is the input for back end, and after the back end we get the target code. Hello, are you getting it? So after the back end, we get the target code. The two pass compiler method also simplifies the retargeting process. So it simplifies the retargeting process. We will see the retargeting process in the next classes. It also allows multiple front end. So this is a template or diagram for the two pass compiler. We can also have many front ends in the two pass compiler as well. Not just one front end, but we can also have many front end as well. So this is the terminology of the two pass compiler. Now, the third is the multi-pass compiler. It means more than two passes are termed as the multi-pass compiler. In the multi-pass compiler processes the source code or syntax tree of a program several times. You can see the front end is there in the diagram. You can see the front end is there. Then after the front end we get the intermediate code. Then the middle end is there. You can have many middle ends, many front end, and then after that intermediate code is generated. Then the back end is there, and we can find errors in all these ends, like in front, middle, or back end. So there are multiple passes in the compiler. So this type of compiler is known as the multi-pass compiler. It develops multiple intermediate codes, right? All these multipass take the output of the previous phase as the input, so it requires less memory. It is also known as wide compiler. So wide compiler is also the other name of multipass compiler. Are you getting it, or anyone has some problem? Okay, so moving for further. Now these are some of the tasks of compilers. These tasks are performed by the compiler more often. First, it breaks up the source program into pieces and impose grammatical structure on them. We have already seen it. The source program has been break up into different pieces, and grammatical errors have been detected by the compiler. Now the second task is it allows us to construct the desired target program from the source program, from the intermediate representation, and also create the symbol table. A symbol table is also main part of the different phases of compiler design, which we will study when we studied the phases of compiler in our next class. Now the third task is it compiles source code and detects errors in it. It manages storage of all variables and code. So all the storage location or all the storage variables or the data types, what the size of the data like int, float or character type can store is uh, also decided by the compiler, and which memory location it will be stored is also decided by the compiler. Next task is it checks for syntax errors and data types. If the data type is int, then it also stores the 2 byte. So if it is not storing that, then the error will be incorporated and it is shown by the compiler. Now the next task is translating the source code into object code depending upon the type of the machine. So depending on the type of the machine, the object code will be generated from the source code. So these are some main tasks of the compiler. Now moving further, now these are the applications of compiler. So compiler design helps full implementation of high-level programming languages. It supports optimization for computer architecture parallelism. I think you already studied or the computer architecture. So the compiler design is also support the optimization for computer architecture parallelism. Now the next application is the design of new memory hierarchy of machines. So new memory hierarchies are generated of the machines from the compiler design, or it is widely used for translating program, which we already seen that a source program is translated to the target program with the use of compiler. This is basically the main task of all the compilers. And the last point is it is used with other software productivity tools in order to enhance the effective time and the memory space. Right, so these are the main applications of compilers. All of you are getting it? Actually, in online classes, it is very difficult for me to really understand all of you are getting it or pay attention to the class sincerely or not. Okay. So the next topic is interpreter. So basically, the interpreter is more or less the compiler, but it has some different characteristics. Like interpreter translates some form of source code into a target representation that it can immediately execute and evaluate. Right, is more so like the compiler but with different features or the different terminology or the different working style of interpreter and compiler. The structure of the interpreter is similar to that of the compiler, but the amount of time it takes to produce the executable representation will vary as with the amount of optimization. Right, so it does the same task as the compiler did of translating the source program into the target program, but the execution time is different in terms of interpreter and compiler. Now this is the procedure the different procedure which are followed by compiler and interpreter. You can see The first figure is of compiler procedure, and the next figure is of the interpreter procedure. You can see in the compilation procedure a source program is there, and after pre-processing uh, you can get the executable code or you can get the object file, right? And after that you can get the, after processing you can get the machine code. In case of interpreter, you can see that a source code is there, and in pre-processing you can get the intermediate code, right? Which is much more. You can get the intermediate code much more earlier than the in comparison to compiler. But the problem is, you can get it very early, but the procedure it follow or the time it takes to execution is much more in much more greater than the compilation. In, you can see the processing time is much more greater in interpreter, and the processing time is much more less in the compiler. But the pre-processing time in compiler is much more greater, because in compiler it checks the syntax error, it checks the semantic errors and other types of errors. But in case of interpreter it is not checking it, it basically did it by line, right? So the procedure followed is much more different. So next is the comparison, the comparison in compiler and interpreter. Now, in case of compiler, it scans the entire program before translating it into machine code. You highlight it on scan the entire program, right? Not by line. So compiler did the entire program scanning. But in case of interpreter, it translate and execute the program line by line. So the working procedure of compiler and interpreter is different. Now the second point of comparison, it stops translating if it finds an error and there will be no executable code generated. Uh, Even if a single error is encountered, it stops translating in the case of compiler, and no executable code or object file can be generated. But in the case of interpreter, it will execute all the lines before error. So, for example, if error encountered on the ninth line, then it will execute 8 lines before that line, and will stop at the line which contains the error, right? Now the third point of comparison, in the case of compiler it generates object code, whereas in the case of interpreter there will be no object code generated. In case of compiler, overall execution time is faster. I'm emphasizing the word overall execution time is faster. So overall execution is faster, and in case of interpreter, overall execution time is slow. But in terms of debugging, because it debugs the entire program. So if your, for example, your program is of 100 lines, so the compiler takes much more time in terms of debugging it, because after it debugs all the 100 line, it shows the error, right? So slow in debugging, that is removal of mistake from a program. But in case of interpreter, as it done the debugging line by line, so it done faster debugging, right? The compiler technique is being used in the C and C++ languages, whereas the interpreter technique is being used in the basic language, right? So thank you very much. So this all is the basic of compiler design. What this course is there in all the units, and what are the course objectives are there, and basically really the definition of we discussed the definition of compiler, interpreters, their comparison, and what is the applications of compiler is there. So actually we discussed in the unit 1, you can see that all the basic terminology of of this subject. And in the next class we are going to study the phases of compiler, from where the actual subject going to start. And this is basically the I think all the prerequisite required for that subject. Right. So, anyone have any question regarding today's class? And next time, whatever time has been given to you, all must follow the time, because almost half of the students are late in today's class. So, anybody have any question related to today's topic? Okay, so in I think in 2 days' time, we will study the next class, and uh, in that class we are going to study the phases of compiler, which is the basic class of compiler design, and then subsequently we will study the finite state machine and all that. Okay, thank you very much for today's class, and we will see in the next class. So thank you.